G'day guys. So in the last episode you saw me put those frames right into the base of the hull and weld them out. That was so that I can move this stand, as I explained. So I need to move this stand down into an area under there that's not underneath the bulkhead that's inside above me here now. To do that I'm going to use this 35-ton jack. I've got some timbers there to support the jack up on, and then I only need to lift it like 30 millimeters or something like that so that I can get this stand out, slide it along and then drop it back down in place. I've got a feeling I need to replace the keel. So this is the new section we put in, and just there is the weld, and that's the old section. So I may have to replace that. It may be corroded inside, not sure as yet. But just in case it is, I need all this stand and everything out of the way. So what we're going to do now is go up inside. I was going to put 2 braces in from the keel up to the top of the bulkhead. I think I'm just going to do 1 now. I don't think it needs 2. There's kind of going to be enough support in that and enough support up the other side, plus that single brace. I don't think it's going to crush up. Plus there's another stand right at the front of the boat and another one right at the back of the boat. So what I'm doing at the moment also is I'm trying to just build up a few episodes. I've got a lot of welding to do inside, so there's probably going to be about 2, maybe 3 weeks of welding in there. So I want to try and get a few episodes ahead of you so that you guys have got something to watch, so we can put something out each week for you. Okay, so also too, there's something that I just want to touch on. It's about the subscriptions. So there's a lot of you at the moment that are watching this that haven't subscribed. Even though we do put a video out every Saturday morning at 6 o'clock, it'd be really helpful if you subscribe to our channel. Just down there should be a little head, or both Cheryl and my heads. If you can just hit that, and make sure you hit the notification button, because it makes sure that you get a notification when the videos come out. I had a lot of people ask about patronage and stuff like that. I'm not ready to go down the patronage road yet, simply because it's a lot of work. I have to supply extra things to patrons. I don't have to, but you know, if you're going to pay me, you want something for your money. We've set up a thing called Coffee, and basically it's like not a crowdfunding, but it's just where you can throw a few bucks our way. Grinding discs, welding rods, stuff like that. It's not going to help with the steel because, well, that full sheet above my head there, I didn't get much change back from $1,000 for it. Pretty hexy. It is a large sheet, but yeah, it's like wow. But that's the way the steel market is at the moment. All right, well, I'll kick on. I'll knock that brace up, weld it in place, and then come down here and we'll jack this boat up. So what I'm doing here, I've just got to cut a notch out so that it fits around the keel. And it sits down flush when I weld it. So you can see what I've done there. Here's the new keel. I've just cut these back at an angle, placed some weld on them. I know I said I was going to put 1 brace on there. When I came down to measure, I forgot about this piece of timber sitting right in the middle, and I kind of wanted that straight up and down. Doesn't matter. So 2 braces, just as good as 1, if not better. Just stitch welded up the top there, Only got a couple of inches each side, so that's more than strong enough. Alright, now we'll go underneath and we'll jack her up. I might just put that down. I need a longer piece of bar to start with, but I need to just centralise that jack. It's not quite in the... Hey, we're going up. Damn it, jack's out of oil. At least I think it's out of oil. Didn't get very far then, did we? Just make sure this is in the centre. Yeah, not going to work. Just going to squash this piece of timber. Yeah, it's just cracking the timber. Alright, hopefully that jack doesn't come down. Give it another couple of bumps. I've just got to get a hammer and go and move that tab out of the way. Now for those of you that are worried about me being under a suspended load, I'm not actually under a suspended load. Because if that jack lets go, it's only going to hit this stand, the stand in front, and there's also the jack stands that are holding the boat up at each side. Okay, so that's about underneath where those braces are. I'm looking more or less straight up there, and so that's in a straight line with them. A bit more of an effort than I thought. Anyway, we got that. I might just have to jack it up a little bit more so that I can get this body pad in underneath there, because I really like those body pads in there. A little bit of rubber. Lovely. I'll go and get another body pad for that very front one. There's a few laying over here from where we've been pulling these truck bodies apart. Oh wow. Alright, we'll just let that down nice and steady and we'll see what it does. Hopefully it pushes that centre stand down in the dirt a little bit. If not, I'll have to jack it up a little bit more and put another body pad in, but we'll see how we go. Creaking, creaking, creaking. Front's coming down. I'll just get out of here while it's coming down the rest of the way. Well, I'm glad I got that jacking out of the way. It was playing on my mind a bit that it wasn't going to go very well, but I think it did better than I thought. There's a couple of ways I can go at the moment. I think what I'll do is I'll just clean these up. Now these are going to be the rails that go up each side of the engine, each side of the keel as well, so one on the port and one on the starboard side. So basically what I'm going to do is just got to clean them up. They've got a little bit of steel left over on them and I just need to gouge it off, so I'm just using this gouging tip and some LPG and oxygen just to tidy them up. Once I get them tidy up, I'll grind them off and weld them together to make the full length, and then I'll trim them back to where I need them to be. So basically I'll join them and then I'll cut one flange off them completely. And the other thing that I can get into, and I'm hoping to do a little bit of this just now after I clean those up, is go inside and get started on that forward cabin. Today I'd like to get a decent sort of a hole cut in that front bulkhead. Alright, I'll get to it, and as I say, I'll tidy them up. I'll show you a little bit about how this thing works. I'm not sure how it'll come out on camera, but you'll get the general idea. This isn't cutting, this is actually gouging. It still uses LPG and oxygen, but it uses a lot less pressure, but it uses higher volume. And what it does is it washes the metal away rather than cuts through it. So it's got quite a large orifice in the end of it. Yeah, you can possibly see the size of that hole in that when you look at the size of the hole in the acetylene cutting tip. Uses the same torch. I'll get this all set up and get the process started. Okay, so the whole idea of these is to join them the two of them together like that. So there's 4 in total. I'm going to prep that, put a weld on it in the middle, just here. And then what I'll do is I'll cut them off to length, make them look nice, and then trim the bottom flange off. So this part here is called the flange, this is the web, and then there's another flange on the opposite side. So basically I'm turning them into big angle irons. So the big wide flange, big thick flange will be up on the top, and then the web will be down the bottom, and I'll cut the flange off on the bottom side. So they will go like that and weld onto the hull in the bottom, plus all those other stiffeners that we're putting in place. It also will be tapered, so at the front it will be quite tall, and then as it goes towards the stern of the boat it'll sort of taper back. But you'll see more in that when I get to it. Really shouldn't be too far away, because what I want to do now is I want to cut the bulkhead out and then make these up, slide them in and fit them, and set them in position where I'm going to weld the new bulkhead up to. So maybe inside the next couple of weeks. But for now I just want to clean them up. I want to get them ready so that one afternoon I can just pop over and weld them together, and trim them all out and that sort of thing. I'm hoping to get hold of a tractor, so we call them a quickie, but basically it runs on a track, and I want to set the plasma torch up in it and then just slowly go along so it cuts in a nice straight line as I'm going. Alright, I won't show you this process, but I'll just get the next two prepared, get them ready to go as well. I've just got to touch these up with the grinder now. So basically what I've done, I've taken a lot of material out with the gouger so that I don't have to grind a lot, and that's all it is. Alright, well that might do me for today. I just had to wet that down just so that it didn't cause a fire while I was gone. I'm pretty keen on how they're going to turn out. I think they're just going to be spot on. I'm not looking forward to putting them inside though. I'm going to have to go through the back door, slide it into the forward cabin, and then slide them back up to this wall here, and then just do a trim. Yeah.